Willow here. So this weekend was interesting. Right before lockdown, Dan and I finished a major renovation in our basement, and then lockdown happened and our wine fridge right back there, that's the new guy, the old one kicked the bucket, and with everything going on in the world, I was not gonna allow that to happen. So we had to purchase a new one of those. And then when the snow melted, we realized that we were also needing a new roof for our shed. There were shingles all over our backyard, and I knew we couldn't go into winter with the roof for the shed not being fixed. So that was another expense that we weren't anticipating. And then this weekend, we thought we were going to need a new fridge. And I was dying. I thought, okay, here we are. We're finally thinking we might be able to save some money, and our fridge kicked the bucket. Like, no. Plus, we kind of like wiggled this guy in there to begin with. It was not the fridge that came with the house. It was one that my mother had when we lived in Georgia, and she brought it up with her, and it was originally sitting in her garage, and then when I bought this house, we decided to put it in here. So it started making like weird noises and blinking all funny, and I thought, oh crap, we just went grocery shopping. Not only are we gonna have to go grocery shopping again because all of our food is going to spoil, but we're also going to need a new fridge. Yay! Luckily though, when we flipped Dan's house in Erie, we kept his fridge. So we were able to quickly transfer everything over and give it a day to just kind of see if it would work or not. And the next morning we looked and it was still acting all weird. So we flipped a breaker, turned it off, and luckily, thank goodness, it was fixed. Let's see for how long, but you know what? Every little bit counts, and I will take it, even if it lasts us only for a couple more months so we can save up to get a new fridge. But hopefully this guy was just maybe overpacked or something weird, and it'll last us a long time. Fingers and toes. But on that note, since I emptied out my entire fridge, I figured I would show you guys how I store things, how to store things properly in your fridge, all of that good stuff. So in removing everything out of my fridge, I have already gone ahead and cleaned all of my liners for my fridge, which you can kind of see some of them back there, and then cleaned the inside of my fridge. So these are what the liners look like. They are flat on one side and then kind of perforated on the other. So you've got airflow for all of your food, which is always needed. So that way your food does not go bad and can last longer. Now, I personally line my entire fridge, and then I line my crisper drawers, and then I also have, you can kind of see them back there, the sponge guys for the crisper drawers as well. So I'll show you what those look like. So here are these. You can see they're very much like a sponge, and I have some for both of my crisper drawers, and that is just like an additional bonus for airflow into the fridge and the fruits and vegetables and all of that. So now I'm gonna start unloading the fridge from the garage and loading this guy back up, and I'll give you all the tips and tricks. Okay, so I've started adding stuff back in to our fridge. Now we have a French door fridge. If you have a side-by-side, this works too. Same rules apply. So your doors here are the warmest area of your fridge. You're constantly opening up the door, the temperature is changing, things like that. So you really want to keep condiments on these shelves. Now you can also do, like for me, I've like hand make lotions and things like that, or I'm like dabbling with it. So I have them up top because I don't really care if they change in temperature. But so all of our condiments, yes, we have a lot. I'm kind of a condiment queen. So these are there. Now on the other side, what I'll have is pickles, jalapenos, other things that have a shelf life or were found on a shelf in the grocery store, and I have now refrigerating. Those are other things that I feel comfortable keeping on the inside of my doors. You do not want to keep your eggs, your milk, your butter, anything that you're worried about having melt or change in temperature over time, or something that you're worried might expire faster. because it's on the door shelves, do not put it there. So that's tip number one. Now I'm gonna go into tip number two. So Dan and I currently are not eating a whole lot of dairy, so this has a lot of our dairy-like products. Then I've got almond milks, coconut milks, kombuchas. We don't have eggs right now, but I have an egg container. And what I love about this is it has a lid on it, so I can utilize the space above it. And then leftovers. We have some leftover rice here. Now also here, for easier access, this is in a pull-out drawer. Okay, so I'm done with our fridge. So granted, Dan and I are currently doing a juice cleanse, so our fridge doesn't always look this healthy, but it's pretty on par. So for the middle and lower shelves, we really utilize that for all of our vegetables. We buy a lot of produce and a lot of it's bulky. So using and putting stuff into the crisper bins for us doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it ends up ruining some of our food because we're mushing everything in there to get it to work. So we switched it up, and as you can see here, it's all of our vegetables, and I put them into bins so it's easier when we're prepping, when we're getting meals ready, to just grab that one tray out instead of hunting through everything. If it's a prepackaged fruit that comes in a container like this, I just keep it in the container. If it's prepackaged carrots, celery, anything like that, and I'm not buying it, I'll put them over into the mesh bags, or I'll bring my mesh bags with me. And I've talked about them, I think it was like 2 videos ago now, and how amazing they are, and they're reusable. You just toss them in your washing machine and you're good to go. Obviously here I also have some larger items that don't fit on the top shelves. And then I have these bad boys kind of spaced throughout. Now these will help with keeping your food fresher for longer, and it'll help pull out all of the smells that come from food, and can end up causing a nasty smell in your fridge or something like that. Now in the lower drawers here that are the crisper drawers, I tend to keep that being kind of grab and go fruits for us. So apples, pears, peaches, things that are a little bit more sensitive than our vegetables. And then in the bottom drawer, you always want to put your meat, or in your lower drawers, you always want to put your meat so you don't contaminate the rest of your food if something was to leak. Dan and I recently though have been only taking out meat as we need it. So everything goes into our freezer, and as we decide what we want to eat for the day, that's when we take it out. And sometimes we'll utilize some of those bins just in case we're worried about it leaking so it doesn't get all over the place. But mainly that lower drawer is for that, or Dan's beverages for golf or whatever he has going on that week. So yeah, that is what I do with my fridge. If you want any more tips and tricks about specifically where to be putting things exactly as far as vegetables and what things go with what and what things don't, let me know in the comments. Have a good one. Bye.